Hey guys, Ben, Pro Se Coach here in Texas. I wanted to talk today about something. This is going to be a very abbreviated version of what I offer at the Pro Se University in a very comprehensive course, but I'm going to hit the high points here and talk about temporary restraining orders. They come up a lot in family law because things can be urgent. You know, if your children are in danger, we need temporary restraining orders. If things are about to happen that we can't have happen, say like, you know, your ex is going to move away or somebody's going to move into the house with your kids, or the reasons are endless, okay? But we need fast response to something that is urgent. So temporary restraining orders come into play. And to be quite honest, they're a pain in the ass, but they're necessary to get what you need to have happen. So I'll tell you why they're a pain in the ass. They're a pain in the ass because every judge is so unique in how they do it or how they handle them, and it can be really difficult to navigate as a pro se person. This is one issue where having a lawyer is actually helpful because they know the process. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means be prepared to run into some slammed doors, okay? So we're going to walk through it real quick. There's three parts to a temporary restraining order. First thing we have is the motion itself. Then we have the affidavit, and then we have the order. Okay, those are the three things necessary to get this through the court. So real quick about the motion itself. The motion itself is just that. You can find it on my website in the specific motions course that I offer. You can find it on Texas Law Help or wherever. But anyway, the motion is just that. Here's what's happening, and here's what I need. And you know, or here's what I need, meaning here's the relief that I need and why it's urgent. It doesn't have to go into a lot of the background story about the ins and outs and the long back history of all of this stuff. Just that I am worried for my children because I fear that my ex is going to do this thing. Okay, for that, this is the relief that I need. So, and then, you know, relief, you got to consider, I mean, what do you really need here? I mean, do you need your ex to not see the kids? Do you need somebody else that can't be around the kids? Okay, just consider that. And again, if you go to the Pro Se University, I've got all these examples of ones that other people have filed, on and on and on, but you'll get the gist of it. That's it for the motion. It's not a difficult document. Keep it light, keep it brief. The affidavit is the second part. The affidavit is literally, I tell people, if the judge sat you down in front of him and said, so tell me what's going on. Just talk. That's all the affidavit is. Just communicate. Speak in first person. You don't have to put on your lawyer hat for this. Just, my name is Ben, and this is what's been going on. I'm scared of this. My ex said this. I'm scared this thing is going to happen, and you know, this is why I'm filing it. In terms of length, you know, judges are human beings. They do not want to read your 35-page affidavit that tells your entire life story with your ex. Don't do it. Brief, brief, brief. However, it needs to be scary, okay? It needs to have a purpose for, you know, why a judge is going to consider what you're asking. So, you know, keep it as brief as you can, but it does need to tell your story. So, you know, I mean, it's kind of I know that's a very vague explanation for how to do it, but I mean, you know, as tight as possible, but be as pronounced as possible and as urgent as possible. And then, so the last part is the order itself. And this can be a little frustrating too, because every single court likes to use a different kind of order. So the one that I have on the university is specific to Bexar County. However, it works for most counties. And what we have basically is you're going to have an order that says today, you know, the court heard the ex parte TRO request by Ben, and it has been granted. And then basically you're doing the homework for the judge that says, you know, I'm agreeing with Ben's TRO request, and this, I'm granting all of it. And then the second part of it is the specifics on when and where the hearing is going to happen. TROs only last for 14 days by law. So what happens is when you get an ex parte TRO, they're short-lived, right? But they're effective quick. But then you're going to have a quick hearing. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff to learn in the quick. But so we filled out our motion, our affidavit, and our order, and then you're going to e-file them. But when you e-file them, the most important part is you unselect everybody in e-file that is not you. because otherwise you're sending the TRO to everybody, including opposing counsel, who is then going to go insane, and it's going to be thermonuclear war. But you e-file it. It doesn't go anywhere but into the court system. And then you email the court coordinator and you say, listen, I just filed an ex parte TRO. I need this to get to the judge urgently. Can you help? In all the counties I've worked in, it's a 50-50 mix. Sometimes court coordinator writes back real quick and says, absolutely, let me get it to him here in the next hour and I'll get you an answer. I had a guy in El Paso, court sat on it for 3.5 weeks. And he had urgent issues, and those issues happened because the court literally just wouldn't respond to him. It's extremely frustrating. I did one time, my own personal case, and I literally went to the court coordinator's office. I lived down the street from the courthouse. That was easy for me. And I sat outside of her door, and I just stood there until she finally acknowledged me. And I said, I've been emailing you like crazy. I have got to get this done. Ultimately, I got it done. But that's kind of the process. And so, I mean, there's no way for me to ever address all of the ins and outs of how you're going to have to handle it. You're going to have to crash through the doors. I've made a bunch of videos about that very topic, about being pro se, is that people go, get out of here. I can't give you legal advice. And they slam the door shut in your face. You cannot stop or you will fail. So you have to go to the next person. You have to go to the next person. You have to go to the next person. You keep asking questions. You go to their office. You sit there in front of them. A lot of courts have staff attorneys. You might ask for one, typically in bigger courts, and their whole job is to help pro se people. They're great help. They'll tell you, let me review it. Okay, it looks good. Let me see if I can get judge to check it out for you. Okay, so now we're assuming we got it to judge, and then a couple of responses you are going to get. Number one is, yeah, here it is. It's signed. Boom. Ex parte TRO. We got it. Number two is no. He said, piss off. Get out. Nope. He read it and said no. And the third one is judge wants a quick hearing. So, okay. So that's saying the judge read it and judge went, it sounds pretty sketchy, but your ex has my best golfing buddy, attorney friend, and I don't want him to look stupid. So let's have a quick hearing about it. Okay, there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to have a quick hearing. I mean, literally 10 minutes. I mean, he can just call you guys together on Zoom or in person and just say, okay, he filed this. What the hell's going on? And then you guys are going to spit it out real quick, and then he's going to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. And that's it. So lots of moving parts with TROs. Very effective. One last thing I'll say about TROs, because they make people nervous just because of what they are. Temporary restraining order. They sound very, aggressive, and they are. But I tell people all the time, strip away legal strategy. Strip away, am I going to piss off my judge or not? Strip away, am I going to piss off my ex? Strip it all down. And if you, as the parent, truly think your child is in peril, and that you've got to do something, do it. If it burns you, it burns you. Because I've learned in my own life, and if you go through this, you're going to learn it too. You've got to feel like you did everything that you can do as best you can do it. And so, do it. If judge ends up yelling at you and throwing it out and everything goes all to hell, oh well. You're going to go to bed and say, you know what, in my heart of hearts, just between me and God, I know and he knows that I had to do this and I felt like it was the right thing. If you're playing games and you're trying to be strategic and you're trying to, I'm going to get back at my ex, or I'm going to screw up Christmas for my ex and file this TRO, you're going to get smoked. And you know what? You got nobody to blame but yourself. So TROs, motion, affidavit, the order, we e-file. We make sure we only e-file and alert ourselves. We get it to the court coordinator, and then we're very patient, but we pester. So if you e-file it at 9 o'clock in the morning and you send it directly to the court coordinator, you ask again at 3 o'clock. You ask again at 5 o'clock. You ask again at 8 o'clock in the morning. Where is this? This is urgent. Please help me. Please help me. And then you stay after it, and then you take it as it comes and you'll get there. Ask around your courthouse if you have no other pro se people in the area that might help you, and just be diligent. And as always, I tell you, you can do this. Just take some work. You guys reach out. If I can ever help, you can always find me at prosaycoachtx.com. And from there, you can contact me with the contact form in the middle of the page. Or then I also have the Pro Se University now with a variety of courses and other things. And I'd love for you to check them out and let me know what you think. Thanks you guys so much.